The space station was alive with colors and lights. Ships from many worlds floated outside the giant windows. Merchants shouted in strange tongues, selling goods from across the galaxy. There were crystals from the ice moons, weapons from fire planets, and even perfumes made from starlight. Aliens of all shapes moved through the wide halls, tall, short, thin, heavy, with skin shining in blue, green, or silver. In the middle of this alien market stood a small stall. It was nothing like the bright shops around it. It was plain, simple, almost boring. A small sign above read only one word: hot dogs. Behind the stall stood a human man, his dark eyes calm, his hands moving as he prepared food. Steam rose from his grill, carrying a smell unknown to most aliens. The aliens walked past and laughed. "What is this tiny human selling?" They whispered. "Hot dogs? What can such food do for us?" Many ignored him, many mocked him, but the man said nothing. He only placed a hot dog on a soft bun, added strange, colorful sauces, and waited. Then she appeared, a tall alien woman with skin like silver glass. Her eyes glowed faint blue, and her steps were sharp with pride. She was known as Commander Cirella, a warrior from the Orion clans. She had fought battles in space and crushed enemies twice her size. Her people were strong, proud, and they never trusted humans. Cirella stopped at the stall and laughed loud. "This is your offering, human? A thin piece of meat wrapped in soft bread?" Her voice was heavy, and the crowd of aliens laughed with her. "You call this food? It looks weak, it looks unsatisfying." Her hand waved with mockery, and her eyes shone with arrogance. The human did not answer. He lifted the hot dog slowly and placed it before her. "Try it," he said in a calm voice. "Do not judge before you taste." The crowd leaned closer. Whispers filled the air. Will she try it? Will she spit it out? Humans are fools. Cirella crossed her arms. She looked down at the small meal. Her pride told her to walk away, but her senses betrayed her. There was something strange in the air, something coming from that hot dog. The smell was simple yet deep. It carried warmth, smoke, and something older, something she could not name. She frowned and leaned closer. Her sharp nose twitched, her mouth watered, though she hated to admit it. Finally, she grabbed the hot dog with her long fingers. She raised it before the crowd as if to show she was not afraid. "If this thing fails to satisfy me," she said, her voice loud, "I will throw it back in your face. Human." The human only smiled. "Eat," he said. Cirella took the first bite. Her teeth cut through the bread and meat. Her tongue touched the mix of flavors: salt, smoke, spice, warmth. She expected nothing. But suddenly her eyes widened. A spark ran through her veins. Her chest felt heat, her heart beat stronger. She chewed again, slower, confused. The crowd watched her every move. Some laughed, some whispered. But they too smelled the air now. The hot dog's scent spread wider, pulling at their senses. Cirella swallowed. Her body felt strange, as if hidden doors inside her were opening. Her strength sharpened, her mind cleared. She looked at the human, but he was silent. "Only watching this," she whispered almost to herself. "This is not normal food." Her pride fought against her words, but her body betrayed her. She wanted another bite. She wanted to finish it. The aliens around her gasped. The proud warrior of Orion enjoying human food. Impossible. But there she was, taking another bite and another. The human's calm eyes seemed to know this would happen. He stood silent, as if he carried a secret no alien could understand. Cirella lowered the hot dog, breathing harder than before. She felt energy moving inside her. It was not just taste, it was something deeper, something that made her feel alive in a way she never felt before. The market grew quiet. Every alien now stared at the human stall. Every eye was locked on the hot dog in Cirella's hand. And in that silence, one question rose in every mind. What power hides inside human food? The crowd did not believe their eyes. Commander Cirella, the warrior of Orion, had taken more than one bite of the human's strange food. Her silver skin glowed faintly in the market lights as she chewed, and her tall frame leaned forward, no longer mocking. The stall that everyone laughed at only minutes ago now stood at the center of silence. But inside Cirella, a storm had begun. The first bite had been strange, the second had been stronger. By the third, she felt something she had never felt in her long warrior life. It was not only taste, it was memory. It was fire. It was weight pressing against her heart as if she had swallowed the story of another world. Her chest rose and fell faster. The flavor carried more than spice, it carried echoes. She saw a vision, a battlefield, Humans fighting with sticks and stones against beasts larger than ships. They were weak in body, but their eyes burned with endless courage. The image vanished in a blink, leaving her shaken. She looked at the hot dog again, half-eaten, steam rising like a whisper from another age. "This is impossible," she muttered. Her voice was softer, and for the first time uncertain. The human leaned forward, his voice calm and low. "You feel it, don't you? Earth food carries the memory of our struggle. We survived storms, hunger, wars, and worse. Every meal is a story of survival. You just tasted it." The crowd erupted with questions. What does he mean? Can food carry memory? This is human trickery. Sorella raised her hand to silence them. Her glowing eyes stayed locked on the human. She wanted to dismiss his words as lies, but her body betrayed her. The energy still moved inside her blood, each heartbeat stronger than the last. She felt her arms steady, her vision sharpen, and her spirit rise as if she had absorbed courage itself. She lifted the hot dog again, biting deep this time. Her teeth crushed bread and meat. Her tongue burned with flavor. Another vision hit her, this time a mother protecting her child during famine, giving her last bread away. That strength, that sacrifice, sank into Sorella's heart as if it belonged to her. Her knees almost buckled. She grabbed the stall edge to hold herself. The alien warrior who never bowed to anyone was trembling from human food. The crowd gasped louder now. Whispers turned to shouts. "Look at her. She cannot control herself." "Is this poison?" "No. No, look, she is glowing brighter." And she was. Her silver skin shimmered like polished metal under sunlight. Lines of light traced across her arms as if her blood had become fire. The glow pulsed with her heartbeat. Every bite seemed to unlock another door inside her. "Enough," she growled, though her voice shook. She dropped the last piece of hot dog back onto the stall. Her hands trembled, her breath heavy. She glared at the human, half angry, half afraid. "What have you done to me?" The man did not move. His calm eyes held no fear. "Nothing you did not do to yourself. You chose to eat. You chose to feel. Now you know humans are not weak." Her jaw tightened. She wanted to argue, but her body still buzzed with unnatural strength. The taste lingered, demanding she take more. Pride chained her, but hunger for that power rattled the chains. She hated it. She wanted it. Around them, more aliens stepped forward. A creature with 6 eyes leaned close, sniffing the air. A giant with horns reached for the stall, but Sorella snapped her hand up, blocking them. "No," she barked. "This food is mine. No one touches it." The words shocked even her. Why had she claimed it so fiercely? She turned back to the human, eyes narrowed. "Tell me the truth. What is hidden in this hot dog?" The man folded his arms. "It is simple. Meat, bread, sauce. But inside it carries the will of humanity. We cook with memory. We eat with hope. That is why you feel what you feel." The market fell silent again. The idea was ridiculous, yet the evidence stood before them. Sorella, strongest of the Orion warriors, trembling, glowing, and unable to resist a piece of human food. Her pride burned hotter than fire. She threw her long hair back and stood taller, trying to bury her weakness under command. "Then I will test it. If this food is truly power, then I will prove it with action. And if it is a trick, I will destroy you, human." The crowd roared with excitement. Some shouted for her to eat more. Others cried warnings. The human only nodded once, still calm. Sorella looked at the half-eaten hot dog. Her throat was dry, her body screamed for another bite. She hated that need. But the warrior in her also craved the test. Slowly, she lifted it again, her glowing eyes fixed on the human. "If this gives me strength, I will return. But if it is weakness, you will regret the day you offered me your food." She bit once more, and the market shook with silence. The air in the market grew heavy after Sorella's bold words. She had eaten more of the human's strange food, and her body still glowed with light that no alien had ever seen before. The crowd could no longer laugh. Curiosity now burned in their eyes. Fear, too. The human wiped his hands on a cloth, calm as ever. His stall looked small, weak, almost fragile compared to the mighty alien shops around it. Yet in that moment, every eye was fixed on him. Even the strongest merchants of steel and fire felt small under the weight of his silence. Finally, Sorella broke that silence. "This is no normal food. I have eaten the meat of beasts larger than moons. I have tasted wine from dying stars. But never have I felt this inside me. Tell me, human, what secret lies inside your hot dog?" The man looked at her with steady eyes. His voice was not loud, but every ear caught his words. It is not the meat. It is not the bread. It is not even the spice. The secret is memory. The secret is soul. Confused whispers filled the market. Aliens scoffed. Some laughed again, though their laughter sounded thin. Memory? Soul? Food cannot carry such things, one said. Human tricks, another spat. But still, none could deny the glow that now burned across Sirella's body. She stared at him harder, her warrior's pride unwilling to accept an answer so simple. Explain, she demanded. Do not play with words. What have you hidden in this? The man leaned forward, resting both hands on his stall. On Earth, food is never only food. It is survival. It is story. When my people hunted, they cooked to remember the pain of hunger. When they farmed, they cooked to remember the joy of harvest. Every meal was more than taste. It carried the fire of our struggle. That fire is inside what you eat now. That is why you feel what you feel. Sirella's lips pressed into a thin line. His words sounded foolish, yet her heart beat louder with each one. She could still feel echoes of something inside her chest. Each bite had opened a door, and behind every door was a story not her own. She remembered the vision of warriors with sticks, fighting impossible odds. She remembered the mother in famine saving her child. These were not her memories, yet they now lived inside her as if they were. She hated the thought. She feared it. And still, she hungered for more. The crowd shifted closer, drawn by her silence. Even the proud merchants leaned in. The air smelled of the hot dog's smoke, and it wrapped around their minds like invisible chains. One alien, tall and scaled, shouted, "If human food carries memory, then prove it. Show us more. Let us taste." The market roared with agreement. Voices clashed, demanding to see the truth, but Sirella raised her hand, her voice cutting through the noise. "No, I am the one who tests this. I will decide if this human speaks truth, or if he poisons me with lies." The crowd froze, half afraid of her glowing eyes, half excited for her next bite. Sirella leaned closer to the human. Her voice dropped to a low growl. "But tell me this, why? Why give such power to food? Why hide memory in flesh and bread? What purpose does this serve?" The man's answer was simple, almost too simple. Because we had to. Humans were weak. The universe never wanted us to live. But we learned to hide strength in small things. A song, a story, a meal. That is how we survived when nothing else could. Sirella stared at him for a long time. His words pressed against her pride like a blade. Her people believed strength came only from blood and war. But here was a human, standing in a market with nothing but a grill and bread, holding her attention as if he were a general. She lifted what remained of the hot dog, staring at it with narrowed eyes. "If what you say is true," she said slowly, "then each bite I take will show me more of your people's memory. More of your spirit." The man only nodded once. "Yes, if you are strong enough to carry it." The word stabbed at her pride. Strong enough? She was Sirella of Orion. She had led armies. She had broken fleets. Yet here she was, trembling at the thought of bread and meat. She clenched her jaw, raised the food, and bit again. Another vision crashed into her mind. She saw a man dragging his wounded body across a frozen land, carrying firewood for his family. His skin was torn, his breath shallow, but he walked until his legs gave out. Even as he fell, his arms clutched the wood tight. The vision ended, but the weight of it crushed her chest. She gasped, her knees weak again. The crowd shouted in awe. Some covered their mouths. Some reached for the food, desperate to feel what she felt. But she raised her glowing hand, keeping them back. "No, this is mine. This is not for you." The man's calm voice cut through again. "That is the secret, Commander. Human food carries not only strength, it carries burden. Every story you taste will live inside you. Are you ready to carry the whole of humanity?" The silence that followed was heavy as stone. Sirella's glowing eyes trembled. Her pride screamed against it. But deep inside, a darker hunger answered yes. The market had never been so alive. Aliens from 100 worlds pushed closer, their voices clashing in a storm of excitement and fear. They had mocked the human stall only minutes ago, but now their eyes burned with hunger and curiosity, all because of one thing, a single hot dog that had shaken Commander Sirella's pride and filled her with strange, glowing power. Sirella stood tall, her silver skin still shining with faint light. She tried to hide the tremble in her hands, but everyone saw it. Her body pulsed with new strength, but her mind wrestled with questions. Was this food a gift or a weapon? A deep voice rose from the crowd. It belonged to a scaled warrior with horns as long as his arms. If the food of humans carries power, then let others test it. Why should the Orion commander keep it for herself? The crowd roared in agreement. Dozens of hands and claws reached toward the stall. Creatures of every kind shouted for a chance to eat, but Sirella's eyes flashed. Her voice cut through the chaos like a blade. No, this food is mine. I was the first to taste it. I will be the one to test it. The crowd froze, silenced by the weight of her authority. Yet their hunger only grew. Whispers spread like fire. She fears to share it. She wants the power for herself. What if she cannot handle it? Sirella ignored them. She turned to the human, her voice low and dangerous. If your food truly carries the spirit of your people, then I will prove it before all. I challenge you, feed me more. Let me see how much of this power I can endure. The human did not flinch. He picked up another hot dog, his movement steady, almost ritual-like. Steam rose, filling the air with that strange warm scent that pulled at every nose in the crowd. He placed the food before her. Are you sure? He asked softly. Each bite opens another door. Each door holds another burden. Power is not free. You may not like what you find. Her eyes narrowed. I fear nothing. She seized the hot dog and bit deep. The market held its breath. Her jaw moved slow, chewing as if each bite fought back. And then, her body stiffened. Her eyes blazed brighter, and a shiver ran through her tall frame. Another vision struck her mind. She saw humans building a city with bare hands, stone by stone, while storms tore the sky apart. She felt their pain, their blood mixing with rain, their bones breaking under weight. Yet still they built. They never stopped. Her chest burned as if she had carried the stones herself. She gasped, dropping to one knee. The crowd gasped with her. "Commander!" shouted one of her own soldiers, rushing forward. But she thrust out a glowing hand, stopping him in his tracks. "No," she hissed. "I am not finished." She forced herself up, sweat shining on her silver skin. Her body shook, but her voice grew louder. "I will take more. I will carry all of it." The human's eyes narrowed, but he offered another hot dog. She snatched it, devouring it in heavy bites. Another vision came, harder than before. A man chained in darkness, beaten by masters, but still whispering hope to others. She felt the crack of whips on her back, the sting of chains on her wrists. Tears stung her eyes, though she hated them. She roared and slammed her fist on the stall, cracking the metal frame. The crowd cried out in awe. Some stepped back, frightened by the power bursting from her body. Others pushed closer, desperate to taste what she tasted. Her glow grew brighter, her body trembling with too much energy. Yet she raised her chin, forcing her pride to stay unbroken. "Is this all your food has? Stories, pain? Is there more?" The human looked at her, and for the first time a shadow crossed his face. "There is always more. But be warned, those who take too much may lose themselves. The burden of human history is not light," Sirella snarled. "Then I will carry it all. Let the galaxy see that I, Sirella of Orion, can bear what humans endured." The challenge was no longer between her and the human. It was between her pride and the weight of humanity itself. The market shook with the sound of voices. Aliens shouted, some begging for a turn, others cheering her on. The stall glowed from the light of her body. Her breath came heavy, but her eyes were sharp, filled with fury and hunger. The human's calm voice fell once more, quiet yet cutting through the noise. "Then eat. But remember, strength without wisdom becomes destruction." Sirella's laugh was low and bitter. "Wisdom or not, I will show them all. I will show that no human memory can break me." And with that, she lifted another hot dog, biting into it with a roar. The crowd erupted, their voices rising like thunder. They did not know if they were cheering for her triumph or for her doom. The marketplace trembled under the noise of the crowd. Hundreds of eyes glowed with fear, hunger, and disbelief. Commander Sirella stood at the center, her body shining brighter with every bite of human food. Her breath came in sharp bursts, her hands shook, yet she refused to fall. Steam rose from the grill as the human vendor calmly placed another hot dog on the tray. He did not speak, he did not boast. He only watched. His silence was heavier than the crowd's roars. Sirella lifted her chin, her silver hair falling back like fire. "Your food fills me with visions. I feel chains, I feel storms, I feel the blood of battles I never fought. Tell me, human, what is this power? Why does your simple food carry such weight?" The man's calm eyes met hers. "It is the truth of who we are. We hide nothing in our food. It is not magic. It is memory. Every bite is a story of survival. That is the revelation, the crowd murmured. Some laughed uneasy, some frowned confused. But Sirella's glowing body silenced most of them. She pressed a hand to her chest, feeling the energy pulsing like a second heart. These memories, they are endless, she said through clenched teeth. So much pain, so much struggle. Yet you carry it all inside something so small. The human nodded. That is why we are still alive. Not because we are strong. Not because we are fast. But because we remember. Our food is a way to keep those memories living inside us. Even in the smallest meal there is the weight of our spirit. Sirella staggered forward, her knees shaking. Pride kept her upright, but inside she fought to balance the flood of visions. Every bite carried another lifetime. Another pain. Another flame of defiance. The crowd leaned closer, caught between terror and wonder. An alien merchant whispered, "If this is true, then humans are not weak, they are something else." A smaller alien, no taller than Sirella's knee, shouted, "Impossible! No race hides power in food." But his voice broke with fear. Sirella raised her hand and the crowd fell silent. Her glowing eyes burned with both rage and awe. If this is the truth of humanity, then it means we all made a mistake. We laughed at humans. We mocked their size, their weakness, their fragile bodies. But now I see. She paused, her voice trembling against the weight of what she admitted. Their strength is not in their weapons. Their strength is in their will. Gasps rippled through the crowd. No warrior of Orion had ever spoken such words. Her people believed only in dominance, only in muscle and steel. Yet here stood their proud commander, trembling under the power of a hot dog. The human spoke again, his voice soft but steady. That is why you feel this burden. Humans carried it for centuries. Now you carry a piece of it too. That is the secret. That is the revelation. Food is our weapon, our memory, our survival. Sirella's hands shook harder. She gripped the stall to keep herself from falling. Visions struck again. Fire consuming villages, floods destroying homes, but humans still building, still rising, still refusing to die. The memories burned her, yet filled her with fire at the same time. Finally, she slammed her fist against the stall, cracking the wood. Her voice thundered. Enough, I cannot carry more. Your food holds too much. But I understand now. Humans are dangerous not because of strength, but because they never let go of their pain. They make it into power. The market exploded with cries. Some cheered, some cursed, some reached for the food, desperate to feel what she felt. But Sirella blocked them again, her glowing hand raised high. No, you do not understand. This is not a gift. This is a test. Each bite is fire. Each bite is chains. It will break you if you are not ready. The human finally stepped forward, his calm mask breaking into the faintest smile. You speak truth, Commander. That is what my people wanted others to know. We look small, we look weak, but we carry more than anyone imagines, even in something as simple as a hot dog. For the first time, silence stretched long across the market. The aliens no longer laughed. They no longer mocked. They watched, uncertain, uneasy. For the first time, they saw humans not as prey or pests, but as something far more dangerous. Sirella lowered her hand slowly. Her glow dimmed, though her body still shook with energy. She looked at the human, her pride cracked but not broken. I will not forget this. You have changed how I see your kind, and I fear. The galaxy will never be the same once others taste what you carry. The human's smile deepened, his eyes steady. That was always the plan. The crowd shivered at his words. For in that moment they realized the revelation was not only about food. It was about humans themselves. Small, fragile, underestimated, yet carrying the fire of survival in every part of their being. And for the first time, the galaxy wondered, what else had humans hidden in plain sight? The market was still buzzing with fear and wonder when the first alarm rang. A sharp, piercing sound cut through the air. Red lights flashed across the great hall of the station. Voices rose in panic as a cold voice echoed from the speakers. Warning, pirate fleet detected. All security prepare for battle. The crowd scattered in chaos. Merchants grabbed their goods, parents pulled their children close, and soldiers rushed to their posts. But the pirates moved faster. The outer walls shook with explosions as their ships locked onto the station. Sirella lifted her head, her glowing eyes narrowing. The hot dog's power still burned inside her, making her chest heavy and her arms strong. She had tasted human struggle, human sacrifice, human defiance. Now the test had come. Would that spirit live inside her, or would it consume her? The human vendor stayed calm even as smoke filled the hall. He began covering his grill as if he had expected this moment. "Now you will see, Commander," he said quietly. "Food alone is not the test. Action is." Before she could reply, the wall ahead burst apart. Pirates stormed in. Brutal creatures with jagged armor, weapons crackling with energy. Their leader, a giant with burning red eyes, raised his blade and roared. "This market is ours. Kneel or die." The crowd screamed, but Sorella stepped forward. Her body glowed brighter now, the vision she carried burning like fire in her veins. She remembered the humans she had seen, fighting with sticks, walking through storms, never surrendering. Her pride had mocked them before, but now their spirit pushed her forward. She raised her voice, strong and sharp. "This station will not fall. Not while I stand." The pirates laughed. "One warrior against us all, fool." But before they struck, Sorella charged. Her fist, glowing with silver light, slammed into the nearest pirate. Armor shattered. The creature flew backward, crashing into the wall. The crowd gasped. The human vendor watched with calm eyes. "Yes," he whispered. "That is the spirit you tasted." The pirate swarmed her, blades flashing, but her body moved with unnatural speed. She ducked, spun, struck, each movement sharper than the last. Every bite she had taken, every memory she had swallowed now guided her. She fought like 100 warriors at once, each vision fueling her strength. Yet with every strike she felt the burden too. Chains still clung to her wrists and her mind. Storms still howled in her ears. She was not only fighting pirates, she was fighting the weight of human history inside her. A pirate blade cut her arm and she staggered. For a moment she almost fell. But another vision rose. Humans bleeding on battlefields, refusing to fall even with broken bodies. She growled, straightened, and struck harder. The crowd no longer fled. They watched in awe. Some shouted cheers, others wept. They saw their proud commander fighting not only with Orion's strength, but with the fire of a small human meal. The pirate leader roared, charging at her with his massive blade. Sparks flew as metal clashed against her glowing arm. He pushed her back, his strength monstrous. Her knees bent, her arms shook. She almost broke. But then she remembered the mother in famine, the chained man in darkness, the builders in storms. They had not broken. Neither would she. With a scream, she pushed forward, her glow exploding brighter than ever. Her fist slammed into the pirate leader's chest. Armor cracked. He fell to his knees, gasping in disbelief. Sorella stood over him, her breath heavy, her body trembling. She raised her glowing hand high, voice thundering across the hall. "This is the strength of humans. Mock them if you wish, but their spirit cannot be broken. And now neither can I." The pirates froze. Their leader lay beaten. Fear spread across their faces. One by one, they dropped their weapons and fled back through the broken wall. Silence filled the market again. Smoke drifted through the air. Slowly, the crowd erupted in cheers. Aliens shouted her name, their voices shaking the walls. "Sorella! Sorella!" But Sorella did not smile. She stood trembling, her glow dimming, her chest heavy with the weight of all she had felt. She turned to the human vendor, her eyes still burning. "You knew this would happen. You wanted me to be tested." The man only nodded. "You asked for power. Humanity does not give it freely. Every bite you took came with memory, with burden. Now you see the truth. Power is never about what you hold. It is about what you endure." Sorella lowered her hand, staring at him. For the first time in her life, she felt something beyond pride. She felt respect. The crowd celebrated, but her mind was quiet. The test was not over. The power still burned inside her, and she wondered how long she could carry it before it consumed her. The human vendor simply returned to his grill, placing another hot dog on the bun. Steam rose once more, filling the hall with that strange, warm scent. And as the station echoed with cheers, a darker question stirred in every heart. If one hot dog could turn a warrior into this, what would happen if the entire galaxy tasted humanity? The station was safe again, but the silence that followed was heavy. Smoke drifted through the halls. Shattered walls groaned under the weight of battle. The pirates had fled, leaving only broken weapons and fear behind. In the center of it all stood Commander Sorella. Her chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. The glow across her silver skin had dimmed, but faint sparks still pulsed with each heartbeat. The power of human food still burned inside her, though weaker now, almost like embers after a raging fire. The crowd gathered around her slowly, their voices low, their eyes wide with awe. They had seen the proud Orion warrior fight before, but never like this. Her movements, her fury, her resilience, it had been something more. Something no alien training could explain. One small alien whispered, "She fought with human spirit." Another muttered, "If one hot dog can do this, what else are they hiding?" The human vendor, calm as always, packed away his stall as if nothing had happened. His grill hissed softly, smoke curling into the air. He moved with quiet precision, not like a man who had just changed the galaxy, but like a worker at the end of a long day. Sorella turned to him, her eyes still glowing faint blue. Her voice was heavy, cracked with exhaustion. You knew this would happen. You wanted me to feel your people's strength, to show them. To show me." The man looked at her, his face unreadable. "I only gave you a choice. You decided to eat. You decided to carry it. That was your path." She clenched her fists, her pride struggling to speak the words. But the weight of what she had felt, the chains, the storms, the battles, the endless survival pressed against her chest. Finally, she let out a long breath. "I mocked you. I mocked your kind. I thought humans were weak, unworthy, but now I see the truth. You are more dangerous than we ever imagined. Not because of your bodies, not because of your weapons, but because you never stopped carrying your past." The crowd gasped. Her words struck harder than the battle itself. For the first time, an Orion commander admitted fear and respect for humanity. The vendor's voice stayed calm, almost quiet. "That is the lesson, Commander. We survive because we remember. We turn pain into strength. Every song, every story, every meal, we keep them alive so we never forget who we are." Sorella looked at her trembling hands. The glow faded slowly, but the memories did not. They burned inside her, each one heavy, each one impossible to erase. "It is too much," she whispered. "One warrior cannot carry all of this. How do your people live with such weight every day?" The man's eyes softened. "We live with it together. No one carries it alone. That is the second part of the lesson." Silence fell again. The aliens shifted, uneasy, their eyes darting between the human and their commander. Some looked afraid. Others looked inspired. All of them now knew the truth. Humanity was no small race to laugh at. Humanity was a fire hidden inside fragile bodies, a fire that refused to die. Sorella straightened her back. Pride still burned in her, but now it was mixed with something new. Humility. She bowed her head, not fully, but enough to shock the crowd. "Your food has changed me. Your lesson has broken my pride. I will never mock your kind again, and I will never forget what I tasted today." The crowd erupted. Some cheered her humility. Others shouted in disbelief. Never before had the Orion clan seen their commander bend, not even a little. The human only smiled faintly, placing another hot dog on the grill. Steam rose once more, carrying that strange scent through the air. The galaxy will learn in time. Humans do not need to boast. We only need to endure. That is enough. Sorella looked at him, her eyes narrowing again. "You say that calmly, but I see the truth. This was no accident. You wanted the galaxy to see. You wanted me to spread this story." The man's silence was answer enough. The crowd leaned closer, waiting, but the human spoke no more. He turned back to his grill, working as if nothing had happened. Sorella clenched her fists again, her body trembling under the weight of the human memories inside her. She wanted to demand more answers. She wanted to understand the full truth, but deep down she already knew. Humanity's greatest weapon was not the hot dog, not the food itself. It was the spirit inside it, a spirit that could change anyone who dared to taste it. Finally, she turned, facing the crowd. Her voice was strong again, sharp as a blade. "Do not laugh at humans. Do not mock them. Do not underestimate them. They carry strength we cannot understand. Even their smallest things hold power. If they can turn food into fire, imagine what else they can do." Her words echoed through the hall, carried on the smoke of the grill. The aliens listened, their fear and respect mixing into something new, something dangerous. The humans smiled again, unseen by most. For this was always the plan. Humanity had revealed itself not through war, not through weapons, but through the simple gift of food. And now the galaxy would never be the same.